Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends of Arcadia Genesis. I am Neal, or Koibu. I'll be your DM for the evening. We have 4 of our 5 players here today, so why don't we go around the table and check in with everyone, because it feels like it's been a million years. Starting with St. Nicholas. Do you bring toys for all the good boys and girls of the world?
No, unfortunately, not this year. No one deserves it this year.
Fuck those kids.
Yeah, I'm all right. Not much has been going on. I haven't played D&D for a couple of weeks. Happy about the election result. Nice to catch up with everyone. That's about it.
How's the Crusader Kings going?
Well, you've asked me about it. I've been playing Total War, actually, Warhammer, but I did start playing Crusader Kings today, Neal. Have you looked in your look in the meme chat for this on Discord for this show? Please.
Let me go find it. Are you talking about the mod?
No. I'm just talking about the Legends of Arcadia meme chat because I didn't even name him Erickson. That was my family name.
I see. Your son looks kind of dorky.
I love the caption. The caption's the best part. He has learned many things. As he looks 4.
He's 10. He subsequently was executed by the King of England. But never mind. That was the end of that campaign.
Well,
Having mastered many skills, he is sure to be admired by his subjects. Bow before me.
There is the Arcadia mod that McTackie's working on that will be finished sometime in the near future. You gonna play through that?
I'll definitely play it. So right now he's set it up. I think he's got the map. Like, he's got the Arcadia map in there, and he's set up a load of the... Obviously, he doesn't have info for all of the royal family, so he's had to sort of randomly generate a lot of it, but it's got all of the key people in there. There's 2 different versions of the map. I think he's got, like, a shattered version, which is, like, after Eridon is broken, and then, like, another version where Eridon's all together. I think he's set up Malachi and Malsifer as, like, playable lords, and they've got the Akuban Knights in there as well. But the real thing which will really sell it will be like custom events. You know what I mean? So like right now it'll just be like the generic events from the game, and it'll be fun because you're just playing Crusader Kings. But if you could get like a bunch of custom Arcadia style events, like the demons appearing, or
I know he's
a fireball and some shit like
looking
that,
for help with the mod. So if anyone wants to pitch in, I bet you could set it up in a way where you could just write custom events, and then McTackie could import it all into the thing.
And if you help, you might be able to sneak some winter gods in there.
Yeah.
Hey now. Hey.
Yeah, I guess if you understand how the game works and how the skill checks and stuff work, and you like writing, you could probably easily write some custom events that you could be ported in quite easily. That would be sweet.
Well, let's move up one rung to Greg. How's it going, Mr. Greg?
Pretty good. I've had I feel like this last week has taken 100 years. But I'm feeling better. I'm missing the gym. I don't know. I feel like I've talked about all my stuff like pre-show, and now I'm like scrambling for something interesting and witty to say, but I'm never interesting and witty in the first place, and I've lost my A material, so now I'm just like, which a priest and a hobo walked into a bar.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Mr. Sean? I don't have any fun puns for your name. I'm sorry.
That's fine. When you said St. Nicholas, I couldn't tell if you were making a Nick joke or a beard joke.
The other St. Nicholas.
Well, you ready to say, "Oh, I'm good"? How's it going with you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. I started playing Dragon's Crown. That's been kind of fun. Yeah, I don't really do anything. I just kind of.
Well, no one does anything anymore, right? We just exist.
Sure.
Cool.
I'm drinking a delicious cup of coffee right now, and it's a pretty good time.
I thought that was mostly what you did anyway.
Usually about 3 times a day.
Have you ever considered growing your own coffee beans and roasting them himself and having like Sean's exclusive coffee?
No, because that sounds like a pain in the ass.
It's just a fucking tree, right? You just water it every now and then. You're good.
I mean, like maybe when American society collapses and we can't import coffee beans anymore, I'll be forced to like shade grow my own coffee. But until then, you know, I can get coffee that's been roasted within a couple of days of when I buy it, so I'm good. I'll just stick to that.
That's probably sensible.
Should
And
move to brewing beer anyway at that point, right? You'll need something that's a bit more of a kick.
And
That's
Ryan,
actually fun. Oh.
sorry, go ahead, Greg.
No. It's actually fun, by the way.
I was just gonna ask Ryan what he's been up to, but he's not here. So, does anyone want to theorize what Ryan's been doing? Anyone want to speak on his behalf for funsies?
Delicate physics calculations.
And looking after
You're
his
much
pregnant
nicer
wife.
to him than I was.
That's all we got. Delicate physics calculations. God,
Yeah,
Ryan's
helping
real
that meteor
boy.
narrowly.
Wait, no. You know, he's been probably rubbing Aaron's feet. You know, looking after her. She's pregnant, right? So I'm sure he's busy with fatherly duties. He's probably out there voting for Trump, little fucker. No, I'm just joking.
I don't think
He's
so.
not here to defend himself.
That was an escalation.
Wow, that's slander
sorry.
or
I'm
libel
sorry.
or something.
Somebody
you know.
had to vote for the guy.
And get
Unless they
sued
fake
over
those
that.
votes, I
Oh,
don't
it
know.
has to be Ryan. Okay.
And last but not least, we have Anna Sophie. What have you been up to?
I love how I'm last but not least. So even Ryan, who is not there, gets to talk before we come to me. You know,
Well, I'm going in the order of the
Wow.
cameras. It's a clockwise rotation.
Cancelled. That's
You just
2 weeks in a row
happen to
you've
be
been
the last
cancelled
person on the
now.
list.
Excuses.
All right, fine.
everywhere.
Next week we'll go counterclockwise, and you'll be first.
Like you
okay.
finally put a woman on one of your shows, and then you just make her always go last, back of the queue.
We actually don't even have a show next week. You're already lying, Neal. I'm just letting you know.
That was my loophole, so I could get out of it.
Yeah, well, got you there, didn't I?
What do you mean, finally put a woman on one of my shows, Nick? I'm sorry.
That took
Were
a
you
really long
unaware
to
that I
catch
ran
on, though.
misclicks for 5 years?
Well, all right, Neil. I know. I'm only joking. Okay,
my
touch the
God.
matter. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
I'm
that.
so glad we have Nick here today. I don't need to be savage. He can be like all night, and I can just sit back and relax. I like
What
it.
about Shannon Z. Killer, Lily Pichu,
my
Caterino?
You do a lot.
Yeah, where are
You do a
they,
lot for
Neal?
women in
What
DD. I take
happened?
it back.
What happened?
Well,
Where
they
are
all died, so, we moved
Oh
on.
my God. Okay, never mind. Well, okay.
Turns out when you die in a Neal game, you die in real life. It's a tragedy.
I just write you off and, don't want to talk to you ever again, you know? If you die in my campaigns, fuck you.
Okay, but
Sorry. It's
since
got
you
really
asked
weird.
how I'm doing,
How are you, Faye? How's it going?
apparently, I've been incredibly busy. In over my head. Work was super insane. Germany's going into what they call the second lockdown. Whether you have been in the first lockdown since then, I do not care. They call it the second lockdown, so I'm sticking with that terminology. So we're preparing for that, and it's a lot of work to prepare for that. Also had a final oral exam on Friday, which went really well, but I was not very convinced that I would do so well, so I was really nervous about it. There's still books on my bed. I still haven't gotten rid of all of them, but there's my bed was just, everywhere were books. And in the middle of the night, I'd wake up to look up something because I just couldn't get it out of my head. So yeah, I've been so busy that I'm just glad to spend a weekend playing D&D with the people I care about,
Oh. That's great. You get to get so many good D&D sessions in today.
Those people were in her
wonderful.
first game, not this one.
That's not
Fell through,
that
so
is
we
not
gotta
true,
jump onto the
Greg.
backup game now.
Is not true, and you know it. I do care about you very much.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you.
All right. So, where did we leave off? Last time it was winter, and you had kind of gone through the winter. It was a little bit quiet. There had been a little disturbance from the ogres, but it's cold and wet and damp, and everyone's kind of bundled up in their homes. Even the ogres are trying to chill in their forest and not cause too much shit. They came over, tried to steal a pig. I think you executed the ogre who tried to steal a pig, right? You killed
Neal,
him?
what the
No, we
fuck?
Or did you let him go? You let him
Yeah,
go?
we let him
All
go.
right.
We punched him in the jaw, broken, and then
Healed the
tied
jaw.
him up in the farm so everyone could stare at him and Google him. And then we had the Ryan ogre tete-a-tete to try to get some information.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up letting him go back into the forest.
Yeah, we had a big philosophical discussion about it, if I recall.
Good.
And then you had him come back and try to murder us, so then we killed him.
Yeah. He came back with some friends, right? They didn't want to...
And they got massacred. They just got butchered.
It was a slaughter. And then the rest of the winter sort of passed by, and as we approached towards spring, there came the sound of drums from deeper in the woods, and I believe that's where we left off last time, right? Is that about right?
So it's been some time since I acquired my token, right? Do I feel any different? Do I feel blessed by the look of the gods?
Your token?
So Jaxel asked me to get 2 feet from a halfling.
Right.
I actually initially asked him if I could re-roll all dice. If I roll all dice with advantage. Probably not, but that's what...
No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It would be like the most epic trinket you've ever done. You're like, murder halfling, worth it.
Yeah.
They're probably just like car perfume and smell like mint when you carry them around or something like that.
You are carrying these halfling feet on you presently, right? Or did you give them over to Jaxel? I can't remember.
No, I did like a little ceremony, and I think they got disappeared.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they got
shrunk
disappeared.
down.
No, they shrunk. Yeah,
They
shrunk
shrunk and you put them on
down.
your belt.
Right,
Right?
they
There you
shrunk
go.
to fuzzy
Yeah.
dice size. Yeah, and you're hanging them
Yeah.
on your belt. Perfect. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know what's
cool.
going on with those feet. Yeah.
Not
Feet
even a
are
joke.
funny.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so here you are. It's been like a nice, cozy winter. There's been snow falling intermittently. You guys have been huddled in that new little building that got made for you because you carved Jexel's face on the bridge totem pole, the poles that hold up the bridge. So now it's like a Jexel covered bridge. In exchange, he built you a nice, cozy little house at the edge of town, close to the woods, so you could stay nice and safe and warm and cozy and don't have to live in a barn for the rest of your life. And now you hear drums. Drums coming from the woods. One evening, night, early morning. It's dark out. You don't know what time it is. They haven't invented sundials, and they wouldn't work at this time anyway.
Okay,
So what kind
we
of-
hear
what kind of-
drums.
What kind of defenses have we got here? It's been a while, right?
You have a house.
Okay.
Yeah, because you wanted to build the bridge first. So the bridge
Okay.
was being built in the winter. Anything else you want to make will have to be built in the spring.
You guys hear that? Sounds like the ogres.
Mm,
Maybe they're planning to attack again. We should be ready.
agreed. Let's start donning armor.
So I guess we wake everyone up. Anyone who's like falling asleep after dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can rouse the rest of the players. You can rouse the work crews. You go into the village to rouse the villagers.
Do we have horses or anything like that yet?
No.
Can I ride in? Can
We
I
have an
ride in?
ass.
No, that's,
Yep.
Okay, so I guess I'll tell June to wake everyone up in the house, and I'll run down into the village. Everybody, wake up! The ogres are here. Probably.
Your shouts are met with the lighting of candles and flames from the hearths. Lights spring to life throughout the village as you shout like Paul Revere, except he was probably more quiet because he didn't want to alert anyone. So not like Paul Revere at all, Nick. Not that
Who's
that means
Paul Revere? Is
anything
this-
to you. Yeah.
I'm just guessing. Is this the red coats are coming guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at all like him. I don't even know why I went down that route. But you wake the people in the village. The party members who are not waking folks in the village. What are you doing? What preparations are you making? What's going through your mind? Those sorts of questions.
Donning armor so that it's on. I have at least my 14 AC and not 10. I don't know. When all you hear is drums, it's really hard to make a plan. Right?
Exactly, yeah,
The
that's
idea
why-
is to get your armor on and then go see what's happening.
Yeah, like do we have a shutter on the house that faces toward the woods where the ogres would be
Absolutely.
coming from? Yeah, I think Kale's just gonna be heading over to that and looking out the window. Maybe trying to. Oh no, I broke all my watercolor tools. Maybe just kind of staring wistfully at a blank canvas, wishing he could watercolor the scene in front of him.
It is quite dark outside, and calendar doesn't have moon cycles on it. This fuck's a shitty calendar.
Neal,
is
every week.
This has
Every
happened
week.
so many times.
What day is it, Neal?
I don't know.
From
End of
what?
winter.
What?
Neal, why don't you just learn to code and make your own calendar?
You know, you can actually just Google straight away what moon phase that day was in. That is on your calendar. It takes you about 10 seconds.
March 12th,
What year? What year is your
year?
calendar?
2019.
He's got a great ability to tell Neal off in a way that I've never seen before.
I'm very sorry. It's the waxing crescent moon, Neal.
Okay, so there's not a lot of moonlight out there, but in a couple of days there will be more. But that doesn't matter for now. I'm super prepared for this session. You guys can tell. Yeah, drums, moon, village, lights, armor. Why do you think this is funny too, Sean? The party can gather the folks that are ready to fight, which is just the party, because no one else down here is a warrior.
So what do the people in the village do? I mean, are they just like waking up but sheltering in their homes, or are there any amongst them who will take a sword against these fiends?
No, these are poor farmers. You guys have been created as the heroes of the valley to protect it, and no one else is built for this, so to speak.
All right, so maybe they start, like, some of them are running around, like, gathering their children from the side of the stream, pulling them back into the houses, things like that. Once I see everyone in action, I'll, like, turn back around and head back to the house. I assume finding everyone sort of lined up outside the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All
sounds
right.
great.
Everyone's safely locked up. As long as we can hold them here, everyone should be fine. And I'll grab hold of my little halfling's feet and give them a squeeze for luck.
They squeeze between your hands, and you can see in the distance, stepping out from the woods, is a line of ogres bearing large torches. You can count the torches up to a number of 10 when an 11th figure, not bearing a torch, steps out between the ogres. This one is much smaller, more human-sized, and emanating a divine presence around her. After she steps out, she draws a blade forth from her side. The drums continue. They must be coming from deeper in the woods. And a 12th figure, another ogre, comes out. Steps out before the goddess, drops to his hands and knees, and bows his head down towards her. She raises her sword, lops off.
While this is going on, so I cut in right at the lopping off.
Right at the lopping off of the ogre's head.
Yeah, we got right to the top part.
Yeah, she chops the ogre's head off. Blood sprays across the 10 lined up ogres, but somehow, even though the goddess is right before her, not a drop lands on her.
This is Verossi, right? Sorry.
Probably. You're getting definitely a divine presence. Verossi's been on the side of the ogres. That's a reasonable assumption. The 10 ogres splashed with hot blood seem to have like a mist rising off of them, like the evaporation from the blood kind of steams them, and then you notice their skin begins to take on like a reddish hue and a tint, and their eyes begin to roll back in their head, and they drop their torches. And now, Greg, what were you gonna say?
So while that process was going on, I wanted to ask, how close to the river proper are they?
They are not particularly close to the river. The closest one's probably like 100 feet or so, and then they like spread out from there. Maybe 10 feet between ogres, 15 feet between ogres.
Okay, it's like 200 feet away from the river. Okay. I think we need to even the odds. And I see a divine figure in some sort of ritual. And so I, don't have sleeves to roll up, I guess. I suppose I take off my ironed gauntlet. And as this is happening, I'm watching to make sure I don't get like uber murdered. But I'm gonna slowly walk my way to the edge of the river in an attempt to get there, I don't know, before whatever horrible thing is happening here goes off. And as I do, I wade in a little bit to the point where, I don't know, maybe my waist deep, and I plunge both hands kind of into the river and call out and say, narrator of the river, hear my plea. The ogres come to destroy all of my people. Flood this river, even the odds, and I will pay any price you please.
There is a bubbling sensation near your hands, an effervescence, as the water sort of, I don't know, what do you call it when you're like drinking a carbonated drink and like it sprays up your nose and it tickles?
Pain.
What is the mechanical action of the like effervescence in your face? I don't know. You can feel the like bubbling through the water, and a youthful feminine face appears right below, looking up out at you. Hands reach up to either side of your face as she pops out of the water, just to her cheekbones, looking up at you. Any price? She questions.
Price.
Give me a charisma check, June.
Oh, baby. Okay. Hold on. Let me get my character sheet out. I was ill prepared.
Time to netty that 20.
Character sheet. Charisma. 19. Ooh.
All right. Her price is you.
Okay.
If she will flood the river and even the odds, if after the battle you will join her as her partner, as her concubine, as her lover beneath the waves.
I don't even think June recognizes what the price is, right? She lays out a price and he just agrees, right? It's an immediate just like make it happen.
Okay. She smiles, reaches up, doesn't quite kiss you yet, but brushes her lips against the side of your cheek, and that's when you can feel the water begin to rise on your arms, and soon it covers up to her cheek, up to her face, and you can pull away from the water as the river begins to flood its banks.
All right.
You have some time until the end of the battle, and then you're hers.
All right. Excellent. I draw my blade, I guess, and begin to make my way through the now flooding river towards battle time.
You arrive back at the compound. The ogres, splashed with blood, have gone into some sort of rage or some sort of combat lusting sensation. They are beating their chests. There seems to be some sort of elongated ceremony where the warrior woman goes from ogre to ogre, drawing symbols across their head in the blood that sprayed across them. The rest of the party, what did you want to do while June was missing, if anything?
I'll cast Entangle somewhere. I don't know how wide the path is, but in front of the party, maybe like 40 or 50 feet in front of us. It lasts for ages, right?
10 minutes.
Okay, so maybe I'll wait until it looks like they. How long would it take them to charge down here if they were running full speed?
I think they're maybe like 700 feet from you guys. Is that what we had said? Yeah, you're pretty close to the woods, so about 700 feet. And if they have movement speed 12, if they rush, they can go 120 yards, 360 feet. So, round and a half, 2 rounds at most.
Okay, so I'll wait for them to stop finishing, to like turn to us and start walking towards us, and then I'll cast Entangle.
Okay. Well, any other preparations, or shall we begin? What I like to hear. Dead silence. Love it. Love it.
Okay, one thing before we start. I just wanted to give Sean a chance. I think Nyx was very quiet through the entire thing because she watched Vorasi very intently as she was casting that spell. Because it's an extremely powerful, very frightening spell, right? It's something very interesting for her to see. I think she'll probably take inspiration from that for a later point. But for now, she...
Faye, just giving herself inspiration. God.
Yeah, look at me, right? You inspired me, Neal. What are you talking about, right? Look at you go. Sorry.
How to get on your DM's good
sorry,
side. It works. It works. You can take inspiration. I love it.
Great. I'm putting it in the... I'm making a mark somewhere. So I'm whipping out a card out of my little satchel by my side, and I'll put it on my chest, and it's the card I've used on Kale before, which is the shield spell. And a pair of ethereal arms hug Nyx from behind before they disappear. And she pulls down her goat skull mask and puts up a hood on top of the, on top of her head to get ready for battle, I guess.
Excellent.
Looking good, Nyx.
Thank you, but keep the flatteries for later when we can celebrate.
Well,
I've got another spell to cast, Neal. I'll do the round after I cast Entangle. I don't know if that's going to be after we've rolled for initiative or if that's now, but...
You'll see them coming. You'll be able to throw down your Entangle, and then depending on things, we'll either roll or you'll get your spell off right away.
Okay.
But we've got, a nice 2.5 miles between the river and the mountains where you can't really walk anymore. You guys are definitely closer to the riverside. The ogres, all 10 of them, are spaced about 15 feet apart, so they span an area of about 150 feet. Your Entangle is a 40 by 40 square, so...
But we're all standing quite close to each other, and it's in front of us.
Okay, so you're just going to put it
directly towards us, they would run through it.
Okay, so you're going to put it right in front of the party?
No, 50 feet directly in front of us.
Okay. So let's talk about the terrain where you are. There is a bridge to your left and behind you next to the river, which is swelling its banks. There is the stone building in which you live, and then behind you is the village by some hundreds of feet. So where would you guys like to position as the river's banks begin to fill?
They all drop their torches, right?
They drop their torches right before they're about to charge. Yeah.
So should we just hold in the village then? Because we can use the extra terrain there to our advantage and create choke points.
My general hope is that this river is going to flood and take away the mobility of these people really fast. Right? And it's probably better not to just hold and wait, but to go force them into the river, right? We now have kind of a second ally in this,
Yeah, and as the fighter in the party, I think Kale's gonna defer to June's experience with combat as well, right? And go with this battle plan.
If we let them dictate the terms, right, as this unexpected flooding takes place, and we get maybe the help of a Nereid and her fishy friends, then they can avoid it. But if we take the battle to them and try to push them into it, then probably the help of an unexpected ally and a swelling riverbank probably is what could turn the tides in what would otherwise be a very difficult battle.
Well, I don't think we've got time to argue about what we're going to do. So if you're moving ahead, I'll follow. But are we not at risk of being forced into the river by them if we run up to them? In fact, we're further away from shelter. Maybe we could move even to the top of the stone building and attack them from the roof if we're worried about the valley flooding. But I think if June runs ahead, I'll go as well. I just leave the Entangle spell behind.
Well, June, you are sort of the leader here.
I think my intention was to begin flooding the river so that it could start encompassing them, and then maybe get some help from the Nereid and take the fight to them while they have to start dealing with that, right? It's like a surprise and maybe potential ally, and then just go. I was gonna bring the fight to them. Was my plan. So that's, I guess, if you're looking for June is less of a let's talk about it and more of a let's draw my sword and go. And so as you kind of discuss strategy, I think you see June emerging from a river with a look of let's fucking do this in his eyes, and unties his big great sword and begins the advance.
All right.
I will lead the rest of the party around the entangle spell as we advance them.
Okay. So you do throw down the entangle spell before you advance.
Well, I mean, no. Then if I've got a chance that I felt like this was happening afterwards, but if it's not, then I'll just save it.
Okay. All right. Well, the party rushes out toward the ogres while they're at the end of their ritual. Their torches being cast down. The goddess steps behind them, points her sword in your direction, and the ogres break towards you as June breaks towards them, and the party follows behind. June, I want you to roll us a 1d10 as the so far swelling banks of the river begin to quickly recede towards the middle, and a horizontal wave in the river comes and like splashes up across the banks towards the ogres. That's the word I'm looking for. The ogres.
Very fun. A 1.
Oh, so unfortunate. The waters will crash up onto the banks, splash over the first maybe like 5 or 6 ogres, one of them getting caught by the wave and dragged back into the river, reducing the number to 9. And then give me like a D5? A D4. Okay. Give me a D4 for how many will have to make saving throws or be affected by the freezing cold. 3. All right. So fail, and fail. So 1 ogre swept away, 3 ogres drenched in freezing water, the coldest water the Nereid can find in the river, and they will be fighting with penalties.
Before this went off, is there a thing I could do to potentially allow him to roll that D10? So
re-roll the D10?
Was there a visual warning that the river was about to like essentially splash out at these ogres?
Only a receding of the water line, and I think it would be pretty crazy to expect the receding of the water line to then.
Yeah, if it was, we'll skip that then.
Yes. Fancy Nereid magic.
I would like to cast Aid the round before we meet them in combat. I'm not sure narratively how that works.
So I think narratively, everyone starts charging and you get partway through and you stop to cast Aid. I think you're only going to be able to cast it on yourself because it's a touch spell, and if everyone else is charging, you're going to be the only one.
It's only one creature anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Is it touch?
Right.
I think
Well,
it's
I
touch.
just cast it on myself, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Well then, you guys are running towards each other. Aid is being thrown down on Nick. You don't have to roll initiative for that. But of the remaining factions, I believe it is initiative hour.
Alrighty.
Neal, can I ask a magical question real quick?
As long as it's not snarky.
No. So we have figured out that I haven't learned my 2nd level spells yet. For no reasons, and I'm cool with that. Would you be but I do have now like 1 spell slot I technically can't use. Would you be okay with me using a 1st level spell just this time instead of a 2nd level spell?
Yeah, you can go ahead and use 2nd level spell slots for 1st level spells.
Yeah, is that okay for now?
That's legit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. I'm very grateful for this. I'm being honest, you fucker. If I'm not snarky, I'm still snarky. That's all.
I'm not used to it. Maybe go back to the snark. It's more comfortable.
Okay.
It's what I know.
Right back.
No. They're in my lap. Excellent. We have for initiative 11 for June, 11 for Kale. What about Nyx? What about Abaddon?
Am I not casting Aid this time? I thought.
No, you cast Aid last round while you're engaging.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
I mean, if you want to cast it this round instead of last round, that's cool.
No, you were saying like everyone else rolls initiative or something like that.
Oh,
yes,
no, everyone
rolls.
roll initiative. Everyone, including the Spectre of Death.
My God.
11, 11, 10. Nyx.
It's difficult. I'm working on it.
Is it really?
It really is. Not gonna lie.
Keyboard beeping at you?
No. Worse.
Hey, Neal, how uneven is the terrain here? Like how rough and like treacherous is the ground that we're all charging across?
It's pretty gentle pastoral lands, actually. So you'll have like the occasional pockets where there's like gopher holes and little bumps here and there, but generally speaking, it's quite gentle.
Are there? Do we know where those points are? Like, would I know when the ogres are about to charge across one of those bits?
Give me an intelligence check.
Sure. Because that's gonna change my action. It would just matter for the plus that I'm adding here. D20 plus 18. Nope.
Nope. You know, it's too dark. You kind of know where the rough terrain is, but yeah.
Yeah, with the waxing crescent moon. Yeah, not enough light.
All right, so our
from 8 and got 8.
it's fantastic. So we got 2 10s and 2 11s for the party. These are the 3 affected by the freezing slow. I think I'm just going to treat it like a slow spell. And so they will go later. The first ogre, as the 2 groups charge towards each other, one of the ogres with his long arms and thick, heavy clubs gets to go first, swings out towards June before June can reach him. And you can see this ogre has been enchanted in some way. The blood that has sprayed across him has given him like this temporary reddish hue, and there's like a bloodlust to his face. His like drooling, salivating, ready for battle. And the creature will strike out at you with a 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 is 13.
A 13 misses. He lunges out at me, and like June is like a natural fighter, right? Like this is like where he lives in his mind, right? This is what he was created for. Just like he like feels the like bloodlust and just kind of turns with it, right? Like water almost, and just allows the like force of the ogre to go like rush past him as June continues past him in the like charge.
Beautiful. He comes right past you. The second ogre has arrived towards you as well from the other side. As you like move one way, it's from that direction that the second ogre comes. And I did my math wrong. He should only had plus 5, 6, 7 to hit. This one will swing with another 4, and 7 is 11. Swiping
Nice.
over June's head the other direction. Nyx and Abaddon, it is your turn. Turns.
So Nyx is standing all the way in the back still, right? And what she does is she kind of retreats a little bit as opposed to everybody who's storming forward. And she retreats into the shadows, and out of her little satchel, she grabs the card that she used back when they first encountered the ogres and she did her illusion. And she clutches that card and takes a second card out of her pocket. And she starts mumbling some words very, very quietly. But it doesn't seem like she's just quite done with her spell. So whatever she's casting seems to take a little bit more time right now. So that's her turn for now.
Okay, still casting spells. Abaddon?
What's the lay of the land here? There's 9 ogres. They all look the same. 2 of them are attacking June.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's sort of breaking towards each other in one mass, confusing chaos, right? And you're a little bit behind the rest of the party because you stopped to cast a spell. I guess not that far behind, because Kale, you're not going into melee, are you?
No.
Yeah. So it looks like June's out front, tanking all the ogres by himself. Kale and Nyx are casting some spells, and you're like catching up.
If they're all surrounding June, then I'll go up to flank one of the ones attacking him. If it looks like some of them are going to break through to Kale and Nyx, then I'll get in between them and the ogres and look to...
They're definitely going to
attack.
go past June towards Kale and Nyx as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll go and try and like intercept them as there's a few of them coming towards Nyx and Kale and attack one.
Okay. All right, so Abaddon positions himself between Nyx and Kale to attack one that goes for one of them.
I should get +1 from aid on that. Do I really just have +0 at level 3 cleric?
Yep.
Yeah, level 4 I think is when you get it.
All right, so +15 to hit.
15 is the number to make.
Nice.
You smash an ogre with your flail.
5 damage.
You do 5. All right, the ogre that came for Nyx, you intercept part way, give it a crack across the belly. The ogre oofs at you, and 11s go at the same time as the ogre that's attacking Nyx. Kale, June.
All right, so I was planning to try to intercept these ogres a little bit differently than what ended up happening, but the plan is going to end up still being the same. I'm now sliding in between these two ogres as they're rushing towards me in rage, and I take my blade and then kind of I'm not spinning around in circles, but you know how you fight two people, you kind of attack one then to the other. I'm using these kind of motions, and I'm attempting to drive the ogres towards the river, right? My attacks are not to kill them necessarily, as I'm trying to force their movements. If they're rushing enraged in a direction, I'm the flowing water to try to guide them in a direction. And so I'm gonna make melee attacks here, but if I hit, what I really want to do is drive the enemy closer to the group closer to the river bank.
Okay.
And I'm probably shouting something at them that they don't understand, but I'm giving them the river will wash away your souls, right? I'm trying to intimidate them and tell them of their predicaments. So my attack is a 19.
That will absolutely hit. How do you want to rule driving them into the water? Do you want to be doing half damage and provoking forced movement? Do you want to just do damage? How do you want to rule?
I think taking half damage and forced movement is good, right? My goal is to push and drive more so than it is damage. So my attacks they hit, but their aim is to force them back, drive them. Maybe it hits their leg and they have to stumble back, type of thing. And my force is driving them away. So they can take 1 damage.
Excellent. 1 damage. Yeah. All right, so you do 1 damage, which brings this guy down to here, and you end up moving the sweep of combat towards the river. So the one ogre that you're attacking here, his heels are now at the lip of the rising water. Because once, we didn't talk about it, but once the river wave crashed and dragged that one ogre back, it kind of returned to its swelling banks, which continue to rise.
Right.
The ogres in their bloodlust are sort of oblivious to the world around them, here simply to destroy, simply to kill. So that is your action. Lovely. Kale, you're going as well?
Yeah, I think right now I'm just gonna sling at one of the ogres that's fighting Abaddon, because we need to clear those up so that we can get some support over to June.
Do it.
With an 8, so no.
No, not at all. All right, the one that came for Nyx will roll a 22 against you, Nyx. I believe that hits.
Oof. Yep, that does hit.
You have the most HP in the party, right?
Well, I mean, yes.
I've got 16 HP right now, so.
It will hit you for 16 points of damage. Max damage on its club. Oh, wait, hold on. It doesn't do D10 plus 6. It does D6 plus 6. Sorry.
Oh, well. Okay, thanks.
Okay, now.
Sorry. Hold on. Wrong damage die. It does 7 to you. From max to min.
Oh my god. This is what a fucking roller coaster of emotions.
Oh my goodness.
Hold up, what was the final number?
7. A 1 on the D6 instead of the 10 on the D10.
How much HP do you have?
What now?
No, before.
Before I had 17.
Shit.
That
Fuck, you have 17 HP?
She rolled better than you. Get your
I have a
base game on,
plus
man.
2. I love how we have this discussion every time. I have a plus 2 con modifier. I rolled max HP last time, and I rolled average before. So 17.
High HP wizard right here.
Okay.
Yeah, well, not anymore, you know.
All right. That is all the party members. The remaining ogres go, and then we have to deal with the one that has been forced towards the river, because at the end of the round, the river will rise, and we'll deal with that ogre. So the other one on June, or comes up towards June, acting a little bit slow, tries to swipe at you with his big, long ogre staff, with a 17 plus 7 is 24. I can math. I swear to God.
That'll clear by 10, but does he crit on a 17? I think he has to have a natural 18, right?
Right, so it'll be a single crit because he clears by 10 on a non-18.
Okay.
So that's 2d6 plus 6 damage for...
How many Junes have you got right now?
He has
12.
12
He only
Junes.
takes
Okay.
8, so...
Hey!
4 Junes,
All
right.
right.
All right.
Nereid's gonna be pissed if you get beaten to a bloody.
So the ogre
Maybe that's the goal right here. Maybe that's the goal.
smashes into you with a critical hit. It doesn't seem to affect you all that much. You stumble backwards a little bit. The last ogre to make it to the party is going to swipe at Abaddon himself with another ogre staff for an 11 to hit. No good. The rising waters will lap at the ogre's ankles, and he'll try to like move out of it quickly, but then the Nereid's hand will reach out. Ogre makes a save versus spell. 14 is not a save for a ogre.
If it's a
don't think
level
so.
2 fighter, the save spell is 17.
Yeah, ogres are 4 hit dice. Their save is a 16. The Nereid catches the ogre, holds him in place, and begins to drag him into the water. The ogre kicks and flails as his hind leg just pulls him deeper and deeper into the water. The 3 ogres that were slowed, I guess they get to move, but they don't get to attack until next round, so we're just going to deal with them next round as they're like confused and slowed and figuring out what's happening. Which leaves 4 ogres, 2 on June, 1 on Nyx, 1 on Abaddon, and the 3 slowed ones. Let's roll initiative. 4 slowed ones? 3 slowed ones.
It was 3, yeah.
It was
There were 3 that
yeah.
got slowed. One of them got dragged into the water.
One of the non-slowed ones got
Yeah,
dragged into
well,
the
one of the
water.
4 original ones got dragged in. The other 3 got froze.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The
Initiative.
3 slowed ones are like they're further back than the rest of the group, right?
Yeah, they go
Okay.
last in all initiative rounds. They have half movement, half attack rate. Do they have a penalty to hit as well? Nick?
For slow, I think they do actually. Yeah. Let me look it
The
up.
slow, yeah, -4 to hit.
Minus
Yeah.
half attack rate and -4 to hit?
And -4 AC.
God damn, slow is
I don't-
broken.
that's
I could see like half attack
And you
rate.
roll with a -4 for your saves, and it affects 1 creature per level. It's the stupidest spell, honestly.
It's
it should
so
be level
good.
Really
Good.
good.
It
Yeah,
should
it's
be level
really
5.
Good.
It's crazy.
It's so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
In before nerfed on next campaign. Oh, I'm sorry, Nyx can't take slow. Now it's a level 7 spell.
Okay. The ogres will go at 7, 11, 12, and 13, and then at the end of the round.
Okay.
And our party has 7. Oh wait, Nyx, did you ever get your spell off or did you get interrupted by the ogre damage?
Well, it was I did cast, they are 2 separate spells, but for better effect, I'm casting them one after the other.
So what was the thing that you did last round that we didn't really resolve?
Phantasmal Force.
What did it do?
Well,
You just cast
I can tell
Phantasmal
you
Force,
after
but
I
you
cast-
didn't. Okay.
It is an illusion that I cast. You can now decide whether it just whiffed and then it disappears, and then I'm not going to narrate it, but I'm not going to go through the whiffing and then put something on top that doesn't happen afterwards.
You cast your. I wasn't sure if you cast a spell or you.
I cast the spell exactly, but I'm gonna I'm gonna cast a second spell afterwards, and they're gonna synergize together, which is why I don't want to use one.
But
and
it
then the
wasn't
other.
a full round action spell. It was a normal casting time, and then you got hit after you cast it, so the spell hasn't been fizzled.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Yes.
Perfect. All right, that's
Yeah.
what I want. So 7, 10, 8, 11. First ogre on June goes at 7. Same time as Nyx. We're gonna resolve the ogre first. The ogre. This is the second one that had attacked you. He's sort of like between you and the rest of the party. He sees the Nerd come out, grab his buddy, but he's like blind to it because he's in this blood rage, which effectively gives him charge on all attacks, even when he's not charging. So the ogres are all rolling at +2 to hit.
So
and
we get
-1
a plus to hit, don't we?
they have a penalty of 1 to their AC. It's 14 instead of 15, but they all got +2 to hit. So this ogre, in his blood rage, is just going to whack-a-mole you into the ground, bringing up the club, bringing it down. 13 plus 7 is 20.
Yep, that'll hit.
I don't think you can survive that.
No, you're down.
For 2 and 6 is 8 points of damage as June
All right.
is pummeled into the ground.
I go to -4.
Oh my god,
Nice.
where's our cleric when we need him? Next one's at 11, but Nyx goes first. Nyx.
Well, funny you asked, Neal, because I'm going to take out a second card as the ogre is slamming into me. And as I've already got this card out, I take out a second card and I put it in front. And the card hasn't shown up yet. But as the two cards touch, there is the sound of hoofs breaking through the underwood as Izual themselves appears on a white horse coming through for the rescue, charging the ogre next to me. Perfect with sound effect because it's Audible Glamour is the second card I'm casting. So I'm combining my illusion with sound so you can actually hear Izual coming through.
Izual on a white horse charges down the ogre. Now,
Yes.
would you like to simply declare that Izual hits because he's an illusion, or would you like to make an attack roll for more believability between the ogres?
I'm going to make an attack roll for extra believability.
All right.
I have no idea what Izual usually rolls, so...
Well, it hits your illusion. You can make him be the illusion of anything you want.
That is true. So... would be easy if I actually know, though.
Izual normally rolls at +1 to hit. Then if he's charging, it would be +3.
+3. Yeah, we're
And
going
then-
with
He's on a
+3.
horse. He's on a horse. That's high ground.
He's not high ground. It's not. The ogre is still taller than him on a horse.
We're going with the charge. I'm going with the +3. 20.
Oh,
Well, that will
Nice.
easily skewer. And if he's charging with a lance, that'll do double damage.
It is obviously psychic damage the ogre is taking, but the ogre doesn't know. They can't tell the difference between the damage types, so...
So that should be 4d4 at a minimum. Psychic damage of a lance breaking into your ogre's back. 10 points of damage will thunder into the ogre. Down low, and with a full-fledged thing, it's also like with a charge on a lance on a horseback. We're also going to be doing an overrun in the middle of all of this. So the ogre needs to make a saving throw versus petrification or be knocked prone. Overrun. Element OP. Overbear. Overrun. Yeah, I'll just saving throw versus petrification. 12.
could
15
actually
is
be
a fail. The ogre will also be knocked to the ground.
Nice.
All right, so that's a prone ogre too. And what happens to the Izual after he charges down the ogre?
Well, the ogre's just prone, it's not dead, right?
Right.
Because, you know, so the illusion is still persistent, so Izual is still on their horse, pointing the lance towards the ogre, ready to, you know, do the final blow. Next round, probably.
Excellent. Next ogre goes at 11, but Abaddon goes with his flail before then.
I go at 8.
Yes. Oh, all
I
of you
go
go
at
before
8.
him. Yes.
Yeah, I'm
You go
gonna.
first one.
So with June going down, I was hoping to do this differently, but I am gonna cast Wall of Fog on this entire mass of ogres. So normally Wall of Fog reduces your vision range to about 2 feet ahead of you, right? It's very dark out, so this is probably near blindness when they're in the Wall of Fog.
Oh.
And my hope is that when they try to stumble forward to get through it, they're gonna wander closer to the river and be in a better position to be dragged underneath.
20-foot cube plus 10-foot cube per level. How many feet of cubes
Yep.
do you have?
I can do 40 feet of cubes in that case.
Okay, so 4 10 by 10 cubes, or a
So
20
a big
foot cube
20
plus
foot cube, and then
Yeah.
another
so
2 more 10-foot cubes.
That'll easily cover the whole party and the ogres.
Mm-hmm.
It'll cover everyone, so everyone is cast into a blinding fog.
Well, Nyx and I are back, right? And Abaddon's also Abaddon might be in it still, but
Okay.
Nyx and I are probably out of it because we're further back.
Okay, there was an ogre that was closed with Nyx that just got run down by
Yes,
the
that one
lancing
will be
person?
out of it, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. So then,
Yeah, that one will probably be out of it. So the rest of them will get hit.
okay. So that'd be
Is there any
fog
saving throw?
here.
No,
Here.
it's just they're in a big wall of fog.
Yeah.
And because it's already dark, they probably have basically no
They
vision.
can't see shit at all, which means going over to Abaddon's turn, you are quickly swallowed up in a cold, chilly fog. You know your ogre is right before you. You know the area he's in, but you cannot see him any longer. So you will take a -4 on your attack roll.
He gets a -4 to his AC because he can't see me.
That's true.
So it cancels, right?
That does cancel. Ogre's AC is 10 and
20.
Whoa
21.
there,
Got
buddy.
him.
21 against
Nice.
AC 14, I suppose, if we're just canceling out the penalties. So that will single
Yeah.
crit the ogre.
Uh, 7.
The ogre lets out as your flail crashes into him one more time, like splintering his hip bone. You can hear the creaking of ogre hide or ogre bone and the moaning of ogre pain. The next ogre was standing over June, but is now cast into a great fog. And what does a fogged, blinded, freezing, enraged ogre do? I think he continues his killing spree.
Is that the second move he got? Because it wasn't his move to hit me.
Yes, he went this turn already.
There were two.
'Cause he went
There were
first.
3 on you. You dragged one into the river. The other one hit you. This is the
Oh, I
third
see.
one that was on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I should probably
Okay,
give us a
I see.
battle map. That would make more sense. You know, visual indications.
That's all right.
Who needs it?
Who needs it? All right, this ogre will find his correct way, heading south, walking through fog bank to fog bank, yelling out. The ogres are all in a blood rage, which I think kind of prohibits real communication in the middle of battle. So he will bumble around. Let me give him a perception check, and just bumble around in the fog for a little while. Still a little lost, not coming out. There's no other player. June would have gone, but he's unconscious.
Does he wander close to the river by chance?
So June bleeds
No, I
out.
rolled a die. He didn't go towards the river. He went forward, so he's just still in fog banks, reaching out with his club. The last ogre, the one upon Abaddon. No, I'm sorry, there's 2 more. The one on Abaddon, the one on Dix, and then there's all the slowed people. So the one on Abaddon will swing towards where he felt the pain come from with a 19, and 7 is a 26.
Oh boy, okay.
Clears by 9.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so single crit. With a 5 and 6 for 11 points of damage.
All right. My
That'll-
8 is gone, but I'm still.
That doesn't
Still
KO
here.
you?
No, I have 8 extra HP from 8.
Okay, you're still standing. And the one that was downed by the charge over Nyx against the incoming person will get to his feet, turn towards Izul, and slash out with his club. He will score an 18 plus 7 is a 25, 24, something, 25. But Nyx, it's an illusion, and you're controlling it. So what do you want to happen when the ogre hits it with a...
I think
24.
Isuel topples off the horse.
But lives? Dies? Does
Lives,
what?
yeah, lives, but is like prone, I guess,
Ah,
when
okay.
they fall
So
down.
he bashes Izul off the horse,
Bleeding,
goes
bleeding
over,
badly.
stands over him, ready to kill him, but the turn runs out. The 3 slowed ones will be coming forward in the fog, sort of slow, confused, trying to find their way. I'll give them a series of intelligence checks to see how they can manage. ogres are known for their high intelligence, of course. And 2 of them will get lost. 1 of them will figure out kind of what's going on and make their way into the party, into the fray, that is. The 2 that are lost... actually, why don't you roll this, Greg? Roll me a d8, and you... a 1 is straightforward, a 2 is forward and towards the river, a 3 is directly towards the river, a 4 is backwards and towards the river.
So
you want a
2 to
2,
4
3, 4
is good.
Cool. All right. So a 7.
For the first one, and the second
that's
one?
Back and away from the river, and then a 6.
Right, so 1 goes forward and left. No, yeah, 1 goes directly to the left, and 1 goes left and backwards, confused by the fog, wandering around. He finds himself back by the woods and turns around, going away from the drums now. The other one, like, has gone out of the fog towards the mountain to try and get a clear view. And these guys, so this one here, this one's gone this way, this one's gone that way. So some of the ogres are a little bit spread out in the fog, a little bit lost. And I believe we go to the next round of initiative. June, you will bleed on a d10.
Yep. Bleeding on d10.
The one that passes intelligence check, does he find anyone? Does he find a target? 19 on the perception check. Yes, at the end of the round, he will come across.
You have no
Abaddon
perception
himself.
checks, Neal. What are you doing?
I mean, there's not a perception stat, but I'm rolling a check to see if he can find combat through the fog. And he hears the sound of Abaddon's flail bashing into people and the grunting, the manly grunting of combat, and is drawn towards the oofs, the great oofs.
I'm gonna go for a Hail Mary here because we kind of need it. Neal, with color spray, does that produce light with itself as well? Like the color spray is it says it's vivid, and it doesn't say anything about whether or not it's like its own light source. Ooh. Vivid fan-shaped spray of clashing colors.
It doesn't say anything about light. I think it's just, but it must work in the dark, right?
Right. So I'm wondering, does it?
Oh
is
no,
it,
blind or unseen creatures are not affected by the spell. So,
well, that's different though, because blinded creatures cannot see regardless of light level.
right. So as long as they can see the color, I think it's fine.
Okay, so it
they're gonna
is
have
essentially its own light source. Because my thinking here is I'm gonna try and do a Hail Mary here. I'm gonna try and like keep a mental image of what I saw before I cast the fog, run into the fog and get to that point, because it's a melee range spell, right? Color spray. I'm gonna try and color spray these things and hope that the added contrast of them being in total darkness is basically gonna hit like seizure levels of clashing colors.
Oh my.
You can't move and cast though, right?
I can
That's
do
a
a half
tool.
move, can't I?
5 by 20 by 20 wedge. So you can reach the one that's near Abaddon from that, which is within 20 feet of you.
You can do a half move and cast.
So, rules as written, spells are a no move action, or maybe at the very, very end of the round you can get a half move afterwards, depending on the context. Yeah, which is something we haven't enforced in the past, but I want to move towards as a gentle nerf.
That's probably gonna change things then. If I can only get the one that's on Abaddon, I don't think it's worth it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get ready with the sling bullet then. I'm gonna help out Nyx.
A big nerf to color spray, particularly that.
Which is nice.
I mean, it's a level 1 spell, so
Yeah.
It's a broken level 1 spell, though. Oh my god,
it's
so good.
okay.
I think it's important if you have strict adherence to rules like that, which are made to like tone down the power of wizards, that you allow the spells that do really powerful things to do all the really powerful things, though. Because like essentially you have to spend your turns moving or positioning and planning, and then you do one really big powerful thing, right?
Yes.
And so like if you want to like tone down the like output of spells, then I think allowing movement and things like that is important. But if we're going to strictly adhere to movement restrictions and components and all the things that kind of at a meta level depower spells, then the full output of the spells is important to realize.
And that's why color spray isn't super strong, because anything that puts you in melee range as a wizard is a very mixed bag of a spell.
Especially if you've got to start in melee range to cast it.
Yeah.
I am going to just roll for sling. Okay.
Okay, first ogre is going to go at 7. June will bleed. And Abaddon, you are sort of fighting an ogre. You hit him last time, he hit you back, so you're still pretty aware of where you are. You might not be able to see each other, but you can hear the ogre's in a rage. He's grunting and moaning and calling out, screaming in his ogre tongue.
Yeah.
Pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I feel like, if you're right next to each other fighting and you know what you're looking for, you probably get used to be able to make out more or less an idea of where they are.
Yeah, especially when they're a loud opponent. Go ahead and do your business.
Nope.
No. He's tall, and he's, easy to mistake for being much closer than he is, so your slashes, your swipes with your flail do not find home. This is the ogre that was on June that knocked him unconscious. It is this ogre's turn to try and find the rest of the party and the rest of the battle, making an intelligence check. He gets very, very confused. Very confused. June, roll me a d8. Same rules as last time.
A 1.
He just charges right forward, walking through the fog cloud, coming out the other side, turning around, seeing Nyx and Kale behind him now, and will turn to join them, but his whole round is spent
Also
trying
sees
to
Izual,
navigate.
right?
Oh, yes, also sees Izual. That's true. That is very true. Let me add him to the map. All right, so that guy has come over here.
Not that.
I have a map,
The map
on
he's
my piece of
drawn
paper.
out for himself.
Yeah.
Well, you can see the 20 reinforcements waiting in the back, walking through that kind of map. I get it. yes,
What's
I get
really
it.
gone on is during this whole battle, the drums have never stopped.
No, that's actually true. The drums haven't stopped. These guys weren't the drummers. The drummers were in the woods. Yeah. Good point, Greg. I forgot to mention it.
Yeah, good point, Greg. Well done.
Next ogre goes at 10. I believe that's a Kale. That's a Kale.
Okay, so I go first.
Yeah.
I am going to attempt to down this. Izual's fighting one already, and Izual definitely has the ogre's attention for the one that unseated him, right?
Yes, that ogre is badly wounded. Izual and that ogre are definitely in a battle, and there's one other that's visible outside of the fog range.
Okay.
That's the one that is behind you now.
If it's badly wounded, I'm gonna try and finish it here. Do I have back attack on this since
Yes.
it's fighting with Izual? Okay.
Yes.
So d20 plus 2 with a 21.
Nice.
So that's
That is a
crit, so 2d6.
critical
Get him,
to the
Sean.
ogre's head.
It takes 10 points.
Nice.
That is all you needed. That ogre drops like a sack of bricks to the ground. Head cracked open, brains going everywhere. Remove him from the initiative order. Excellent. Nyx with the 10.
Slingstone continues to be the most powerful first level spell.
So according to my memory, how many ogres would be left? One, I see one dead one, right? I would figure there are still...
The one died, one got swept into the river. That leaves about 8, but it's just a weird fog cloud and creatures are running everywhere. You only see one still standing. That's
Okay,
outside of the
so
fog cloud, but there should be a bunch more.
Right, he's the one who's looking confused, right? So I'm gonna have Izual stand up, and then walk over to the next ogre.
All right, that's
While
walking
Nyx
towards the one that
remains
came
pretty
past you.
motionless, I guess. Yeah, the only one I can see, right?
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
the only one.
Izual comes towards the ogre.
And attacks them. 4 + 1. Oh god, no. Never mind.
Well, it's your illusion. He misses, but you can dictate whatever you want. Because it's an illusion.
Well, I guess it depends how the ogre reacts, right? So Nyx has had a really good eye on Izual during the winter, so whenever they came into the kitchen trying to figure out what the card looks like, right? Nyx came really close and tried to figure out how to make Izual as realistic as possible. Right,
You've studied his
noticing.
face. You've memorized the lines of his body, the way he smells, the cadence of his
Yeah.
footsteps,
When
the fluttering of his eyes.
when I
Nyx
picked
does
up,
not strike me as the kind of witch that is smelling as well. Like,
well, here's the
lavender.
thing. I didn't need to do it like this because Isual gave me their clothes that one evening to wash in the river, right? So I picked up her clothes, and as I washed them in the river, you know, I knew what it smelled like. So
Yeah.
I have an idea for you. Tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
You strike and miss, but remember the spear that Malchus gave as well? Now the miss, as he misses, the spear extends and double prongs into the mighty spear of Malchus, the spear of the Zodiac, and the second prong is what strikes the ogre.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, we. I like it. We'll risk it, Greg. I'll risk it because I like the idea, but Neal gets to say whether it does hit or not because technically I rolled for this. So.
Okay.
All right.
Never mind, Neal. You know what? Inspiration. We're just re-rolling this shit. Hold on.
Okay.
Plus 1.
Okay.
Let's go. 7.
Oh.
Never mind.
All right.
It was a good idea, though.
The spear double extends and misses the second time. Woo.
I figured. But I like the idea, Greg. Totally down for it. We tried. Illusions are always based on, you know, trading with people.
Well, the next guy goes at 11. I believe all the party members have gone. All the party members have gone. So the next two are, one of them is fighting Abaddon, still kind of looking for you in the fog, you know, swiping around, kicking out with his feet, trying to find your position. Hill will score a 6 plus 7 is a 13.
No good. How wounded? Can I? No, I guess I can't see him, can I?
No, it's too. Your vision's limited to 2 feet, and you're definitely not within 2 feet of the ogre. Like maybe an elbow will pass in front of you, or a knee, or something from time to time. But the meat and bones of the ogre is beyond your vision.
How much health do ogres have, guys? It's like they're 4 hit die, right? They gotta be almost dead.
The one fighting Izuul will stomp at him with a natural 1 to hit. No good. And the one fighting Abaddon already missed, and that's the whole party. Greg, how you looking?
I'm at -6.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I see June go down,
so
or was that before
I have
the
a
fog?
question. I
it was
thought
in
I was
fog.
sneaky and I threw it in chat, but I'm hidden in the fog. I'm bleeding out right next to the swelling banks of a river that is controlled by a Nereid I just made a questionable deal with. Instead of like bleeding out every turn, is there some off chance that the Nereid just takes the body under the waves and, you know, the deal is done at that point?
Ooh.
Or does she let me bleed out and die?
Ooh, hadn't considered. Let me redraw my map while I figure this out, because it's just a series of like arrows and circles now. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just like, it's not a great map, you know?
Nice.
I love it.
Well, do we need should we take a break between?
Yeah, why don't we
combat?
take a
do you think
break?
about that?
Yeah, we're a little deep in. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break with more maps. Bye-bye.